Chicago Stadium. Pat Riley had the Knicks believing in themselves, and Game 1 showed that this series would be anything but one-sided. For everyone involved, this became an intense, emotional series. As they had with Detroit, New York applied the hammer to Chicago with their physical brand of basketball. The Knicks thoroughly enjoyed the success resulting from their aggressive effort. For the Bulls, it was an extremely painful experience. With the series tied at 2, the Bulls bid farewell to New York. Game 5 in Chicago saw the Bulls respond by returning to championship form. But then who would have thought the Knicks would have reached a Game 6? Even Pat Riley had to be surprised at the dramatic emergence of Xavier McDaniel. The splendid efforts from Gerald Wilkins and the physical identity they had established as a team. Certainly, Phil Jackson had not expected to see a Game 6. What Knicks fans witnessed next was eerily reminiscent of Jackson's playing days with New York. When Patrick Ewing injured his ankle, it instantly brought back memories of a hobbling Willis Reed. And just as the captain had returned in 1970, this captain would come back as well. Ewing would go on to lead the Knicks to one of the most satisfying victories since their glory years. Ewing is fouled. Yes, and it counts. Oh, that's an enormous field goal. Wilkins for Ewing. Yes, and it counts. Despite Ewing's heroic efforts in Game 6, the Knicks lost in the deciding 7th game. But the memories of this series will remain with Knicks fans for many years to come.
So many great images from that series. Patrick Ewing limping, all the trash talking. But to me, the one that really told it was the smile of Pat Riley when he went, that's how good the series was. We'll wonder whether Pat Riley will be smiling when today's game is over between the Bulls and the Knicks. When we come back on Knicks Game Night, we'll recap yesterday's games in the NBA.
I myself smoking. I do more, I go through 2 packs on photograph sessions. Maybe under my own, maybe half a pack a day. I don't, they're killing me, these photographers. What am I supposed to say something nice about them? They're killing me,
Pigs.
But I love them, I love their work, and I'm glad to be a milestone in their career.
They were continuing. Looking resplendent, Michael Jordan, America's richest athlete, making his way into Madison Square. Kevin Lockery, in the absence of Ronnie Cycli, uses Matt Geiger at center. And Akeem Olajuwon had a field day, driving around Geiger for a slam. Then with the turnaround from the baseline. Then the jump hook. Akeem, 33 points, 17 rebounds on the Geiger counter. The Rockets have won 7 of 8 as they go on to beat Miami by the score of 101-93. Meanwhile, the Milwaukee Bucks, one of the surprises in the NBA, took on the Philadelphia 76ers. Frank Brakowski is rejected by Clarence Weatherspoon, but Blue Edwards follows. Doug Moe can't understand how such a great play goes unrewarded. For the Sixers, Kenny Payne with a fake and a drive. He had 21, but this was a night for Blue Edwards. Nice spin. He had 26 points. The Sixers down 14 early, never come back. Blue Edwards with the jumper. He shot 10 of 15 from the floor. Sixers' 3rd straight loss. The Bucks only a game behind Chicago. The Atlanta Hawks took on the Cleveland Cavaliers. This game was decided in the 3rd. A 6-point lead at the half is disintegrated when the Cavs hit their first 11 shots. Larry Nance, 17 points, 14 rebounds. Mark Price would then hit from the outside. He had 20 points. Brad Daugherty watching. Craig Elo chipping in. the Cavs' 6-game win streak versus the Hawks. Meanwhile, the Mavs and the Sonics, George Karl has his Sonics right there with Portland in the Pacific. Dana Barros hits a 3, 26 points, 2 away from his career high. He also picked one here from the Mavericks. The Sonics going 8-3. Richie Adubato can't believe it, but his long season is just beginning. Dallas now 1-8, 5 straight in the loss column. Seattle 127, Dallas 104. Gary Payton, a career high 31 points. Elsewhere in the NBA, Alonzo Mourning struggled against the veteran Chief, shooting only 5 of 18. And the Celtics beat the Hornets 111-102. Meanwhile, Xavier McDaniel had what Bob Ryan told me his best game of the season. Orlando over Indiana 130-116. 5 starters for the Magic had 20 points or more, led by Scott Skiles 32. Lakers and Portland. This one went to the Lakers 98-90. James Worthy 19 points, 8 of 12 shooting from the floor. The Blazers shooting only 42% from the field. The Golden State Warriors continue to struggle. They're only 4-8. Meanwhile, Phoenix pushes their record to 7-3. Charles Barkley and Danny Ainge star Chris Mullin had 27 points for the losing Warriors. Meanwhile, Minnesota and Washington as the T-Wolves rebound from their loss to the Knicks. Never trailing at the Cap Center, beating them 102-83. Christian Laettner continues to roll in his rookie season with 25 points and 9 rebounds. And finally, Chris Jackson hits a 3-pointer at the buzzer as Denver beats Mark Jackson and the LA Clippers 109-106 for Chris Jackson, 19 points. LaFonso Ellis, 16 points, 11 rebounds. Well, we're back at courtside here. The Bulls and the New York Knicks, both teams have made their way onto the floor. The buzz has picked up here at the Garden, and we'll have more analysis ahead with the players that the Knicks don't have and were a large part of the playoffs a season ago. Xavier McDaniel, and that'll be the topic on Inside with Clyde. But we come in today with one less player who was very important, and while we admire the defense of Gerald Wilkins, the emotion of Xavier McDaniel will not be on the floor today. How much does that hurt the Knicks?
I think the X-Man was the panacea for the Knicks because he could contain Pippen. Not only the tenacity that he brought to the game, but he did a good defensive job against Scotty, actually exposing Scotty, taking him out of the game. So there you see the X-Man, pugnacious, loquacious, hellacious against the Bulls.
Now, a lot of that banging will be picked up by Anthony Mason and maybe some of the talking, too, if Pat Riley will allow. But you've got 2 players in the addition factor for the Knicks that are important. Charles Smith, for one, and Rolando Blackman defensively against Michael Jordan. How do they figure in, and how well do you think they'll figure in?
Well, I think Blackman can take up the void of not having Gerald Wilkins. But another player we didn't mention, Mark Jackson. The press and trap for the Bulls is going to really vex the Knicks today. So they're going to miss Mark in that respect. Charles Smith, I think he's capable of denying Grant. He can do a good job against Grant inside.
All right, now mine open a Jeep, Clyde's opens a Rolls Royce, but here we come to the keys of the game. Clyde, why don't you roll us through it?
All right, the keys, please. Try to contain Jordan. Hold him to his average. Stop Pippen from tipping and stripping. You know, he's a good looter. So also deny Grant second opportunities. So basically, Al, on paper, it's easy to beat the Bulls. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. But as we know, games are not won on paper.
All right, now if this game was a week ago, you'd think the Knicks would not nearly have enough confidence to pull it off, but they've won 3 in a row, and I think they really feel like they've solved a lot of things. Patrick Ewing's playing at a very high level, and the benching of the 3 players really seems to have focused them and piqued their abilities. Are they playing well enough to beat the Bulls today?
I think so. The Bulls are not invincible. Again, if you look at those keys, you see it's relatively easy. The Knicks possess the qualities to do that. With Ewing now back on his game, especially on the defense, I think the Knicks have an excellent chance of winning the game.
If there is one matchup, aside from anything that we've spoken about, maybe a player coming off the bench or maybe even a coaching aspect of this game, could you pick out one that you'll especially be interested in?
Well, I think maybe Paxson. Now because B.J. Armstrong started, they have to contain Paxson if he comes into the game. A good perimeter shooter, can also penetrate and create havoc as well.
All right, that wraps up our pregame coverage on Knicks game day for a game night. With Walt Frazier, I'm Al Troutwig. We thank you for joining us. Marv Albert and John Andres are settling in their seats. It's the Bulls and the Knicks in a matter of moments from the Garden. Big game day at Madison Square Garden. We always like to get the opposing team arriving. It adds drama. Now, the Bulls are here today, and of course, that is special. They'll be coming up just in minutes right up this very ramp. And of course, since we work at the Garden, we know that. We're privy to the secret information. So we'll be able to get a private interview with one of the defending world champions. It should be very exciting. What is that? What is that?
I don't know.
What is that?
I don't know.
Come on, we better get out of the way. Come on, come on. Hurry up. Hey guys, which one was Jordan?
This, the 6th straight sellout at Madison Square Garden. It's the toughest ticket in town. Crowd of 19,000 turning out for the New York Knicks and the defending NBA champion Chicago Bulls. The Knicks with 3 straight wins after the 3-game losing streak. They're now 7-4, but this afternoon they face their first major test of the season, while Chicago rolling along. Record of 9 up and 2 down. They have won 8 of their last 9, and they have been succeeding on this long road trip. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with John Andres. And John, basketball people were wondering what effect the long season of a year ago and the Olympics would have on Michael Jordan. Well, it's really affected him. He's leading the NBA in scoring. He's averaging 35 points per ball game. And in that recent trip to the West, he had a 49-point game and a 54-point game. So Michael obviously is thriving.
Yes, Michael doesn't know when to let up as far as the opponents go. And this team seems to treat the road like home games. They have an unbelievable ability to do that and keep getting better and better. They made some off-season trades, but it's the main man as usual. He started out this road trip against Minnesota doing his thing, driving, stealing the basketball. You never sleep with Michael Jordan on the court. Against LA last Friday, he was unbelievable as well. That was the 54-point game, and he truly did it all. His team went a little tired at the end of the game, though, and he got a surprising loss, he and the Bulls. But on the road, it has been incredible. 42 points a game in the last 5 games. He's shooting a remarkable 60% and 86% from the foul line. Jordan, Marv, to me, has a unique ability to think of today only, and he doesn't relish yesterday's successes, and that's what makes him so special, along with his great ability.
Now, last season, the Knicks did provide a scare for the Chicago Bulls in the playoffs, but they have lost 11 straight to the Bulls in regular season play. And in recent times, one of their problems has been in matching up with Chicago, in particular in that front line. And they're hoping that the addition of Charles Smith will help to change things around.
Well, the Knicks knew they had to get better, and they made very dramatic trades during the offseason. And Charles Smith was at the center of those changes. And it's time for Charles Smith to show what he can do, and the Chicago Bulls are the question mark today for him. Charles, however, last week against Orlando showed his stuff. It was a very big game for the Knicks. Charles had all the moves, inside, outside. He dribbled the ball. He made very good decisions, and he showed how effective and tough he can be around the basket. And that's what's going to be needed today to give the Knicks a little imbalance in their favor against the Bulls, who are so tough on the boards. The Bulls are big and tough. Well, the Knicks hopefully are bigger and tougher than they were last year with Charles Smith now.
All right, the crowd excited about this one. They are up for this first of 4 meetings between the New York Knicks and the Chicago Bulls. We'll be back with the lineups in a moment. The Chicago Bulls at 9-2. They come off a Tuesday win in Oakland as they beat Golden State 101-92, while the Knicks in their last outing knocked off the Timberwolves in Minneapolis on Wednesday night with a solid 99-78 performance. Now for the introduction of the Hertz starting lineup. Let's join with the public address.
Here is today's starting lineup. First for Chicago. At guard at 6'2" from Iowa, number 10, B.J. Armstrong. At guard at 6'6" from North Carolina, number 23, Michael Jordan. At forward at 6'7" from Central Arkansas, number 33, Scottie Pippen. At forward at 6'10" from Clemson, number 54, Horace Grant. And at center at 7'1" from San Francisco, number 24, Bill Cartwright. The trainer is Chip Schaefer. Assistant coaches John Mock, Jim Clemens, and Tex Winter. And the head coach, Phil Jackson. And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard at 6'6" from Kansas State, number 20, Rolando Blackman. At guard at 6'4" from Marquette, number 25, Doc Rivers. At forward at 6'7" from Ohio State, number 9, Tony Campbell. At forward at 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, Charles Oakley. And at center, at 7 feet from Georgetown, number 33, Patrick Ewing. The head trainer is Mike Saunders. The assistant trainer is Tim Walsh. Assistant coaches are Dick Carter and Jeff Van Gundy. And the head coach of the Knicks, Pat Riley.
So an enthusiastic reception for the New York Knicks, who are the only team of the NBA to be unbeaten at home. They are 5-0 here at Madison Square Garden. Some of the better home records around the league. As for the road, where the Knicks have struggled at 2 up and 4 down, Chicago 6-1, and that is the best road record in the NBA.
And somehow, you know, under the leadership of Michael Jordan, Marv, that the Bulls will be up for this game, despite the fact that it's their 6th road game in a row. Michael loves the limelight, that's for sure, and he is in New York City, and this is where he'd love to show the Knicks that he isn't tired at all.
And this is game 6 of a 7-game road trip. They conclude next Wednesday in Boston. That will be the finale, and then home for Portland on Friday night. The officials this afternoon are Joe Crawford, Ron Garrettson, and Jim Kinsey. It'll be Bill Cartwright and Patrick Ewing on the opening tip. And today's overhead camera shot brought to you by the Upper Deck Company. Nobody does basketball like Upper Deck. That win over Golden State on Tuesday, Michael Jordan 18 for 30 from the field, 49 points in all to lead the way. The Knicks control the opening tip. Doc Rivers, played by B.J. Armstrong, sets up Rolando Blackman. Rebounded by Patrick Ewing.
Patrick hurt himself by dribbling the ball.
And Pippen had it knocked away. Rivers and Blackman in the backcourt. Ewing, Campbell, Oakley up front. Here is Ewing. Yes. And Patrick Ewing over the years has had a difficult time out of Bill Cartwright, who usually is able to push him further and further outside. Now the Bulls still like to try to get Cartwright going early. Grant rebounded by Ewing.
Important effort by Oakley, putting his hand in Grant's face.
Here's Rivers. The Knicks jump in front, 4-0. Pippen being guarded by Campbell.
Massive challenge for Tony Campbell dealing with Pippen.
In past years, Michael Jordan has said that, and has called an offensive foul. Jordan has made the point, as Cartwright has called for that foul, that Blackman has given him as much difficulty defensively as anyone in the NBA. Now, Gerald Wilkins has done a nice job, as good as you can hope for against Jordan over the years. Gerald, however, now playing his basketball in Cleveland, but Orlando has done well, or as well as you can hope for. That's away from the ball against the Bulls. It's on Grant, but Rolando Blackman is still working his way back from the injuries that he suffered during training camp.
The Knicks can only hope he continues to grow. This is the game that will naturally be a good barometer of how far he has come lately.
Oakley sets the pick,
but the pick doesn't work. Jordan gets around it.
Good play by Jordan. Oakley recovering. Shot clock at 4. Oakley back. Jordan with the pull-up. Rebounded by Ewing again.
That's where the Knicks hope Jordan lives today, outside.
Here's Campbell on the drive. Went right at Cartwright. And an offensive foul, or a loose ball foul has been called on the Knicks. It's on Ewing.
That really became a running one-hander the way the ball hit the backboard with such velocity on it. That shot by Tony Campbell was a very low percentage shot, as it turned out.
Cartwright being hand checked by Ewing. Here's Grant. It's the Knicks 4 and the Bulls nothing with 2:20 gone by. Jordan looking to help out on Ewing. Yes. Jordan went for the swipe, but Ewing protected the dribble, and the Knicks lead 6-0.
I actually think Jordan was illegal there. He wasn't guarding Blackman, and he wasn't guarding Ewing. He was threatening to do both.
And Phil Jackson with the early 22nd timeout.
Certainly good signs for the Knicks here, hitting their shots, and also having the good fortune of having Grant and Jordan miss their opening shots from the perimeter. Blackman concentrating on getting the ball to Ewing. Now Jordan kind of hangs around, doesn't go at Ewing. And Patrick Moore, with great difficulty, didn't let the presence of Jordan distract him, because Jordan always bothers Patrick down low and will leave his man outside. Patrick knew that, but it didn't stop him from his mission.
Patrick Ewing has come on strong the last 2 games. You have to consider the competition, which certainly goes up a few notches here this afternoon. Had big games against Minnesota and Washington. Grant feeling around, draws a double team and threw a bad pass to the crowd. Knicks have opened up by hitting 3 of 6 from the field. Blackman, and it's run down by Oakley.
If Blackman starts hitting shots like that, the Knicks will go to that level they're seeking, a higher level.
Rivers, yes. The Knicks lead 8-0. Blackman up on Jordan. Good defense here by the Knicks in the early moments. Foul called on Campbell. Joe Crawford does not want any conversation.
He doesn't have to say anything either to give that message. Just his expression tells it.
Grant being played very well by Oakley, who just switched off on Jordan. And Michael Jordan with the Bulls' first field goal. It took them 3 minutes and 44 seconds to score. Here's some pressure by the Bulls. They'll throw on light pressure from time to time. Campbell drawing the double team, gave it up to Oakley. Ewing lost the dribble, able to recover. Here's Rivers. And again it's Oakley off the offensive board.
It's getting a good bounce with Charles Oakley in the right spot each time.
Rivers had the step, but pitches back. Blackman. And B.J. Armstrong able to get to it. Nice dish off. Grant from Pippen. It's the Knicks 8. And the Bulls 4.
Tony Campbell has to be less hesitant with the basketball when he gets it.
And he had no question in his mind right there, and he popped it home. Knicks lead by the count of 10-4. Knicks last year were swept in the season series by Chicago, 4-zip. Foul is called on Campbell. That is his second, and Anthony Mason will check in. Not one of the favorites of the Bulls from last year's playoffs.
That was a beautiful pass to Pippen. Campbell a split second behind. And somehow you knew, Marv, it would only be minutes before Mason came in to try and deal with Scottie Pippen, who's slowly starting to roll.
And Scottie, I'm sure, delighted to see Mason. try to cut to his right on the baseline. Anthony stayed with him. Oh, he's able to find Grant through a crowd. What a pass by Pippen. Knicks now lead by the score of 10-6. The Knicks have lost their last 11 in a row in regular season to Chicago. Cartwright on the foul. Their last win against the Bulls, January of 1990 here at the Garden. Timeout is taken. We'll be right back. Series between the Knicks and the Bulls were very upset about the roughhouse tactics of the Knicks. Saw John Starks with the flagrant foul on Scottie Pippen. It was a combination of Xavier McDaniel and Anthony Mason. John Starks, who particularly upset the Bulls. That's a loose ball foul, sending Ewing to the floor. It's on Cartwright, and that is number 3. Will Perdue will come on, replacing Cartwright. Well, the other day in Newsday, in a question and answer session with Jan Hubbard, Michael Jordan was asked about the, I should say, former trash talkers, because I think Pat Riley has calmed things down. He also very upset about the fact that various Knick players, and particularly Anthony, Mason, and Starks, were getting off their game by talking too much. Here is Ewing, handled by Jordan. And Michael was asked about the style of Greg Anthony, Anthony Mason, John Starks. Rejected by Ewing. And we'll show you that quote, the retort from Jordan, in just a moment. Knicks with a 10-6 lead halfway through this first quarter.
Well, with Cartwright out now, Will Perdue is the man in the middle to bang on Ewing. I think Phil Jackson is more concerned that Ewing gets banged around tough physically. Perdue has not been playing that much this year, but he's a good man to serve up to Ewing now.
Grant. Bulls have been off here in this first quarter. Pippen. And again, Oakley with the rebound. 4 rebounds for Oakley. Blackman trying to shoot his way into it.
Well, people who really know how to shoot the basketball have the confidence. He missed his first 3.
Mentioned a quote from Michael Jordan, referring to Mason, Starks, and Anthony. Those guys are unbelievable. They're 3 of the cockiest in the league. They've only been in the league 2 years. They've still got a lot to prove. Talking about all the trash talking from last season. Starks hitting the second free throw. Knicks now lead by 6. Anthony with a good hustle. Has a fast break. Leading Ewing. Nice catch. Good reaction by Ewing.
Ewing looks particularly sharp here in the first quarter.
8 points for Patrick Ewing, along with 7 rebounds. Pippen banks it home. Oh, what a move by Scottie Pippen.
Mason's making it tough, and Pippen still had the answer.
Knicks 22, the Bulls 16. Now Smith up front with Ewing and Mason. Here is Smith. Yes. The Knicks 24 and the Bulls 16. Paxson and Armstrong in the backcourt. Paxson beat his man Ewing out to defend, came up with the block. And here comes Anthony. Starks with him. The dish off for Starks. Pat Riley screaming for his players to get back. The Bulls can kill you on the transition. Armstrong throwing up the air ball after the hot streak. Charles Oakley coming on now for Patrick Ewing. A strong outing for Ewing, who hears it from the crowd. Now Horace Grant sits down, and one of the new faces on this Chicago roster, product of Mount Vernon, New York, Rodney McCray comes on for the first time. So McCray up front now with Williams and Pippen. There'll be a lot of minutes today for Scottie Pippen. Starks. Rebound Oakley. Smith had it poked away by McCray. And it's Smith again. Knicks lead by 10. 20 seconds to go. First quarter.
As tough a defender as McCray is, and he is one of the best, it's a very difficult matchup from the taller Charles Smith's viewpoint.
First quarter winding down. Pippen one-on-one with Mason. Dishes out to McCray. that will do it for this first quarter. And the Knicks greeted by the crowd for this superb effort. They lead it by 10. Corey Williams, here's Smith. Rebound Oakley. Charles Oakley dominating the board.
By far his best quarter this season. Not even close.
Oakley had to knock away Mason on the recovery. Mason thought the shot clock was deeper. It was only at 12. Williams fouled by Anthony.
Knick assistant coaches sit on the bench next to Pat Riley recording many aspects of the game. And one thing they must be writing a lot of today is challenging shooters. The Knicks defenders are challenging the shooters. That's so important to deflecting the distraction of the shooter and making it more difficult for him to succeed.
And Pat Riley in a discussion with Anthony Mason. Patrick Ewing is back. Is B.J. Armstrong replacing Corey Williams. And Michael Jordan to the free throw line. He's at 85% for the season, averaging 35.2 per game. That's his third point.
He's had some beginning to this season. He started the season against Cleveland with a 29-point game. Since then, it has been 30s, 40s, and 54 last Friday against L.A.
And his last outing, 49 against Golden State on Tuesday night. Knicks lead 32-24. Nice ball movement. Smith. Yes. Charles Smith on fire. He has 10 points.
Interesting how we haven't noticed Horace Grant much in this game. Charles Smith is keeping people busy.
Horace showing a 2 for 7 from the field to this point. Here's King. Starks leaping for that rebound. Smith posting up on Pippen, wanted the ball, now gets it, puts the move on Grant, but over-anxious, called for steps.
But you like the move of Smith toward the hoop. That puts pressure on the defense.
Scottie Pippen now running the club, telling Michael Jordan, go down, go baseline. Now Jordan comes out. King posting. Backing Ewing. And rejected by Ewing. Nice follow. That shot, though, was altered. Again, a second opportunity for the Bulls. Oh, Oakley stripped Grant. What a play by Charles Oakley. And away from the ball, a foul. Offensive foul on Smith. He was using his elbow to gain position.
Yes, he was muscling Pippen. He wanted to get him down low and establish his presence. He was too aggressive.
Knicks lead by 10, 34-24. Joe Crawford says stay right here. Foul against the Nets. It's on Smith again. That's his third. And Pat Riley calls for time.
Taking a look at our Dutch boy in the paint numbers. Offensive rebounding. The Knicks, led by Charles Oakley, are doing quite well. And they're also hurting the Bulls inside, where the power of the Knicks is with Patrick Ewing. We'll take a look now from the upper deck trading card cam of the defensive end of the court for the Knicks. Patrick Ewing's hands have been more active in this game than I think at any point this season. He, along with his teammate Charles Oakley, who showed his quick hands stripping Horace Grant moments ago, demonstrates how the Knicks are playing so well at both ends of the court.
5 minutes into the second quarter, and the Bulls are 0 for 7 from the field here in the second quarter. Now 2 shots for Scottie Pippen, who is down in the free throw department, only 68% from the line. Look at that, an air ball.
Filled with self-hatred.
And try to overcompensate and threw it too hard, but Jordan on the rebound. Now being guarded by Campbell. Ewing falling down his 9th rebound.
You know how rare that is, Marv? I mean, hundreds of people have gone through an entire career in basketball and never had that happen to them. Miss everything
From the foul line. Oh. Ewing off the double team. Campbell, and it was Oakley with the box out that kept it alive.
Yes, his activity under the basket got that ball loose for Tony Campbell.
The Knicks lead 36-24. Jordan Armstrong in the backcourt. Pippen, Grant, King up front. Pippen trying to get a little too fine with that pass.
Marv, I'll say it now. Oakley for president. That was a Charles Steele on that play.
Ewing to the hook. Yes. 10 points for Patrick Ewing. And the Knicks now lead 38-24.
You know, the Knicks are in a dream sequence this first half.
Easily their best basketball of the season.
Against the best.
Here is Starks. Yes! Oh, Chicago down now by 16 points. 5:20 remaining in the first half.
Phil Jackson noticeably calm on the Bulls bench.
Jordan had to force it, and it'll be Nick Ball.
The Knicks are playing at a level that even Phil Jackson knows his team can't deal with right now. He can only hope that the imperfections start to surface.
Campbell played by Pippen. Here is Anthony. Rebounded by Pippen. Armstrong to the drive. Offensive foul.
Armstrong driving strongly to the basket, but John Starks sets himself up, and he takes the foul. And that was all right with him.
Doc Rivers replacing Greg Anthony. The Bulls 0 for the second quarter. 0 of 10 from the field. And the Knicks lead by 16. It's their biggest lead of the game. 4:35 remaining in the first half. Ewing now being played by Scott Williams. And he banks it home. 12 points for Ewing. He's hit on 6 of 9. The Knicks by 18. Pippen played well by Campbell.
But what's happening now is the Bulls will go into one-on-one play. It will be very difficult for them, for their stars like Jordan and Pippen, to resist that because they feel they can beat the Knicks guys one-on-one.
First field goal for Chicago in the second quarter. Campbell forced it. 7 minutes and 50 seconds without a field goal for Chicago. Going back to the start of this. Actually going back to late in the first quarter. Here's Grant. Rivers trying to save it. And Chicago will get it back. Here's Rolando Blackman. Checking back in. And he comes on for John Starks. So these are the field goal for 4. John Starks responding well to the benching and making his return against the Timberwolves Wednesday in Minneapolis and back into the rotation along with Anthony Mason and Greg Anthony. And Oakley is called for a hold. Correction on the blanking of the Bulls. Our stat crew with an update. They went 9 minutes, 23 seconds without a field goal that goes back to the first quarter.
Tex Winter to the left and Phil Jackson and John Bach trying to figure out their next strategy, the things they have to say to their team to tell them they can win this game.
Bulls having problems at the line. They shoot 74% as a team. And they are 9 of 13. They had missed 3 in a row. The Knicks 42, Bulls 27. Campbell beating the pressure. Oakley, well, he's looking for the shot, which is not necessarily a good thing, although he did hit earlier. Here's Pippen. The Knicks 42 and the Bulls 29.
Pippen wasn't identified as a threat in transition by the Knicks. He was open.
It's usually a no-win offensively for Charles Oakley. You would like him to shoot more, but there's a point.
Well, particularly, Marv, he was dribbling the ball. If Charles on the move shooting a jump shot is not something that he's comfortable with.
Last touch by Campbell, and a timeout taken by the Bulls. 2:48 remaining in this first half. Oh, Bill Bradley checking out the Knicks and the Bulls. Bill still has a close relationship with Chicago coach Phil Jackson. And Bill wanted to see if the jersey's still hanging.
I didn't see him. I assume that's his daughter with him point up to the roof there to point out that that was his shirt up there. But I guess his people close to him know that.
Yes.
Marv. I was very impressed, though. He remembered you when he looked over. I read his lips, Marv, he said.
And, you know, I do recall him, too. You see that he was mentioned in political speculation. I know you don't look at the front of the page, John.
Yeah, right.
But in the one of the stories in the Times recently said possible Secretary of the Treasury. Basket counts in the foul. Tony Campbell was hacked, and he'll go to the line.
That's Tony's third field goal, second good range jump shot. Patience of Rolando Blackman waiting for Tony, and Tony with less hesitation now going to the shot. Marv, I can't resist the line, though. You point out Bill being nominated possibly for Secretary of the Treasury. Only appropriate for a dollar bill.
Yes. Well, Leonard Lewin of the New York Post has to feel good about that. He's the man who put the tag on Bill Bradley in his early days with the Knicks when he signed that initial contract. Reach-in foul called on the Knicks. It's on Campbell. That is his third.
Well, this is a first this season for the Chicago Bulls. They lost to the Lakers in a game that just slipped out of their hands. They had it. And on ring night in Chicago, the second game of the season, when all the distractions were on getting rings, they lost to the Atlanta Hawks after the Knicks had beaten the Hawks in the opener. They were kind of surprised. They haven't played a game like this year where they've been behind in a game, particularly so early.
And continue to have problems at the line. Here's Starks for Campbell. But still a long way to go. 2:02 remaining in this second quarter. The Knicks do lead by 16 points. And Grant misses 2. So Pippen missed a couple. Grant missing 2. Just under 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Starks. John Starks getting the roll. His second field goal. He has 6 points, and the Knicks match their biggest lead of the game, an 18-point spread. Pippen posting up on Blackman, did a little show the ball maneuver. Jordan, he's been way off. Jordan. Oakley able to tap it to Starks. Has Ewing. It was slightly overthrown. Starks able to rescue. And the Knicks get the new 24. Blackman. Yes. Good look from Patrick Ewing. And the Knicks lead by 20. It could not be any better from the Knick point of view. Doing it off the boards, doing it with the jump shot. On the double-up, they get it outside effectively. Here's Jordan. Rebound, Ewing.
Well, it's happened. Jordan has become a jump shooter, which is what the Knicks had hoped for. He is not driving the ball.
Jordan is now 1 of 9 from the field. Starks, bad shot. Oh, what a save by Oakley. Here is Starks. Air ball. Down to 20 seconds to go in the half. The Bulls with only 29 points. They have scored only 13 here in the second quarter. That's a three-pointer. So that matches the 16-point total of the first quarter. Down to 10 seconds. The Knicks lead 49-32. Down to 5. Ewing looking for Oakley. And Pippen with the pull-up. Standing ovation for the New York Knicks. They lead the Bulls 49-32. Chicago with season-low quarters. 16 in the first, 16 points in the second. For the Knicks, easily their best effort of the young season. Coming up at halftime, along with our highlights, and along with Clyde and Al, I'll be chatting with Ernie Grunfeld of the Knicks. We'll be right back. Will Perdue has come on. Blackman. Oakley with a one-hand rebound. What an effort by Charles Oakley. And again.
I must say, though, first of all, Charles has played great. But the ball is coming his way off the board today.
Rivers with the spin in traffic. Oh! And his foul. Will Perdue called for the foul. Watch this spectacular move.
Doc Rivers wanted to pass, but there was no one there, so he went for the shot.
Three-point play for Rivers. The Knicks 56, the Bulls 40. Charles Oakley with 15 rebounds. Patrick Ewing has 13. Grant. Horace Grant has been quiet to this point. He has 7. The Knicks lead it 56-42. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Troutman, Walt Frazier from the Garden. Capacity crowd, 19,000 on hand for the 6th straight time this season. Shot clock at 5. Campbell, yes. But Tony Campbell, easily his best performance as a Knick.
Well, he and Oakley have risen to the occasion, and Ewing's also up there. Charles Smith, when he comes back, will remind people that the Knicks have some depth.
Ewing getting it down to Blackman. Blackman popping. Oh, Rolando enthusiastically leaping up, celebrating, getting the roll. And Phil Jackson wants to talk it over.
A real winner knows how to party right. Please use good sense when you drink and know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser. The Knicks have captured the fire once again. We look from our upper deck trading card cam. The action under the boards. Charles Oakley so active. Patrick Ewing as well. The Knicks igniting a breakdown court. Rolando Blackman, despite missing a few, keeps popping, and he is finding the rim. And did he love it on that last one? He got up high.
Knicks by 18 once again. 6:20 to go in this third quarter. Armstrong lost it. The Knicks with a backcourt of Rivers and Blackman. Oakley, Campbell, and Ewing up front. Campbell.
I know you had bad shot on your lips. He forced it, though.
Yes, it was, but in a game like this where he is feeling it, you got to let the guy go. When you're trying to save it, it'll be Nick Ball. John is, and I put the disclaimer on it, there's still lots of time remaining. It's a 20-point Knick lead. We're under 5:50 to go in this third quarter, but this shaping up as one of the all-time lows for Michael Jordan in terms of effectiveness. It will count. The basket counts and the foul. Michael was
Patrick Ewing capitalizes on that shot.
And and has a three-point opportunity. Will Purdue now sitting down. And replaced by Scott Williams. Ewing has 15. And another good Nick run. This is a 15-2 margin. Back in the first half, the Bulls went 9-23 without scoring a field goal. Well, the aggressive defense exhibited by Campbell leads to his 5th foul. Check that as 4th foul. Michael, apparently they reset the shot clock. Doug Rivers able to hit, and the Knicks now lead 69-46. 50 seconds remaining in the third. Shot clock at 5. Mason, yes. The Knicks lead by 27. The Knicks have lost 11 straight in the regular season to the Bulls. And they have pounded them here this afternoon. Smith with the steal, then lost it. Smith knocking it away. Grant tried to save it and knocked it out of bounds. And collides with the Chicago broadcast crew and our Bob Page. What a move by Bob, bracing for the hit from Horace Grant.
He took the charge, Marv. That's the way it is around Madison Square Garden. You take the charge.
19 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Think that'll make Sports Desk highlights.
Lead story.
Foul called on. They led 26-16 after 1. 49-32 at the half. Anthony beating the rookie Corey Williams. And the Knicks now lead 84-57.
And the Knicks teammates of Anthony let him operate. They cleared out the whole right side.
At one stretch, the Bulls went 9 minutes, 23 seconds without converting a field goal. That was in the first half. Here's Jordan. Oh, yes, it counts.
Quite nicely.
Anthony going all the way. Rebound Mason.
That was something. That was in traffic.
86-60 Knicks. Anthony setting up Oakland. Beautiful play by Greg Anthony. And it looks like Corey Williams came up limping. And a timeout has been called, and Phil Jackson is very upset with his club.
Well, it's holiday time, a good time to give your favorite Knicks fans a holiday hoops package, a pair of tickets to 5 games, including the Chicago Bulls, and they'll be different next time. A Knicks videotape and a starter t-shirt. For information about this and other second half mini plans, call 212-465-JUMP.
We're coming up on 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Michael Jordan with a rare converted outside shot. He's 4 of 17 for 13 points. The Knicks 88, the Bulls 63. And Grant trying to knock it away. Call for that foul.
The Midas bench breakdown. The Bulls with only 14 points, and the Knicks getting tremendous help off the bench with 26.
Charles Smith has had an excellent game, as has Anthony Mason. Ewing, yes. The drop step in the face of Stacey King. The Knicks now by 27. Corey Williams unleashing. And it will be Nick ball. Pat Riley now has a backcourt of Starks and Anthony. Ewing with Mason and Smith. The Knicks seeking to stop that 11-game regular season losing streak to the Bulls. Anthony again allowed to penetrate. He's had that all game long. Phil Jackson is called for time.
Well, he can't be happy about his big men covering up the middle when penetrating moves are made.
Jordan with the step. And he's fouled. Starks called for his third. Jordan to the line. A.J. Armstrong has replaced Corey Williams. Michael Jordan, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Last year won his 6th straight scoring title, averaging 30 per game, and then averaged 36 points in the finals, winning his 3rd MVP award.
Well, I heard during the Olympic period, Michael Jordan graciously told Carmelo he would give the scoring title over to him this year.
Yeah.
Started out that way, but not lately. And Patrick Ewing has not let up.
26 points for Ewing, his 3rd consecutive excellent performance. And now it looks like Herb Williams will come on. Knicks lead 94-65. So Jordan is now 4 for 18. Foul committed by the Bulls. And that's Herb Williams for Patrick Ewing, who gets the hand from the crowd. 26 points, along with 15 rebounds for Ewing.
One of the outstanding performances of Patrick's illustrious career here at the Garden today.
Anthony trying to feed off. Smith with 5 on the shot clock. And it will be Chicago ball. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. Tomorrow night, the Knicks will move on to face the Detroit Pistons. In Detroit, Pistons have lost 6 straight. Record of 2-8. They are last in the Central Division. Horace Grant has 9 points. Look at the production from the Bulls. Pippen with 14, Grant with 9, Jordan with that 4 of 18 for only 15 points. Blocking foul on King.
Certainly has the looks of a winning streak, Marv, here at the Garden for the Knicks, as we harken back to Game 6 in the playoffs last year, when the Knicks had the sensational 14-point win over the Chicago Bulls while holding them to 86 points. Ewing also was gigantic in that game with a 27-point effort.
Anthony to the line for the first time.
When you think of it, so much has happened since then, you know. I mean, particularly to Jordan and Pippen. Went on to the NBA championship, into the Olympics, training camp. I'll tell you, Pippen, Jordan, and Albert, whew, they must have been so tired come September.
But, John, some of us are able to, make the turn and come back strong. It was the basketball season that would never end. But no complaints. That's a good point out. Here's King. And the Knicks now lead 96-69. The Knicks on their way to making it 6-0 here at home. Charles Smith able to use the height advantage on Horace Grant.
That move tells a big story about the new Knicks as far as the Bulls are concerned. It seems whoever Smith is with creates a mismatch in favor of the Knicks. And Michael Jordan has become more active here in the 4th quarter.
Herb Williams called for the foul. Scott Williams now coming on for Horace Grant. Jordan back to the line. He is 7 of 7 from the free throw line.
There were times last year when Pat Riley described Horace Grant as the epitome of a power forward. And today, with the new look Knicks, he has become another guy on the court.
98-71. Here's Starks. Oh! A gorgeous reverse move by John Starks, and the Knicks have hit the 100-point mark. Jordan unable to hit the three.
First time in 7 games the Knicks are at 100 points. Make that 8 now.
Mason feeling around for the defender Williams. And pulls his way in. Knicks lead 102-71 in what has been a stirring performance here at the Garden. Foul called on the Knicks. It's on Herb Williams. Timeout taken. 2:57 to go in the game. Well, tonight's AT&T long distance shooting features former Knick Trent Tucker, who changed an NBA rule with this one long distance shot.
Virtually impossible now. Clock will start when someone touches the ball. 1/10 of a second. Touch it and get it up. Jackson is looking for Ewing. Tucker launches it. It's good! It's good! Yes, it is possible to shoot with 1/10 of a second left.
And that was back on January. And appropriately enough, Trent Tucker's just checked back into the ball game, making his first appearance since the first half.
Yes, the new rule says 3/10 of a second now is the cutoff between a field goal being allowed at that point in the game.
Crowd beginning to file out. The Knicks lead 102-73. Herb Williams with a nice move.
What a fun time the Chicago Bulls coaching staff is going to have reviewing this game, and they will dissect it.
Let's see the first, second, and third questions to Michael Jordan following the game. Have you ever had a worse performance? The waves of reporters who will be attacking the Jordan area in the Chicago locker room will be asking that Pistons tomorrow. Knicks game night 6:30 here on MSG. Win. And now lead Chicago 105-73. And this a score when flashed around the country will kind of raise some eyebrows.
Certainly will. And following Detroit Tuesday here, the Portland Trailblazers. 3 games in 4 days.
Here's Armstrong. The Knicks 105 and the Bulls 75. High point man of the game, Patrick Ewing with 26 along with 15 rebounds. A very strong performance by Charles Oakley with 16 rebounds. Williams, it counts, and the foul.
We have never seen a Knicks backup center make moves like that. Herb Williams, left-hand dribble, scoop under the basket with the right-hand finish.
Yes, we're talking about a quality player in Herb Williams. But the question is, will he be able to get some minutes? And King throws the air ball. Down to 40 seconds remaining in the game. Knicks 108, Bulls 75. Williams posting up. Mason tried the baseline. Starks. Yes. The Knicks 110. And the Bulls 75. Knicks getting a balanced effort. Starks with 10 points. Smith with 12. Mason 11. 10 for Blackman. They're on their feet here at the Garden. Mason for Starks. Knicks lead 112-75. 10 seconds to go. Knicks receiving a standing ovation. Here is Armstrong. And that will wrap it. And as the crowd celebrates, and keeping an eye on the Knicks, John, as you indicated, no celebration. They are calmly, in the style of their coach, Pat Riley, walking off the court. part of the approach in looking to Detroit tomorrow night. Final score, Knicks 112, Bulls 75, and that puts an end to the 11-game regular season losing streak to Chicago. We'll be back in a moment.